Pastor. All right, guys. Jeff, we have been waiting a long time to get the legendary Billy Paul on camera.
Never thought we'd do it. Never thought we'd do it. He's so famous.
Yeah, he is so famous now.
Yeah.
All right, Billy Paul Williams is, if we have viewers in Central Alabama and Talladega County, you're pastor at Fayetteville Baptist Church, where me and Otter are both members.
That's
Jeff
right.
has to take care of his mom a lot, but he's planning to come. Talk how long you've been pastor at the church. Obviously, we don't want to take people away from another church, but if you don't have a church, talk about how long you've been the pastor there.
I had filled in from time to time because I was knew your mom and dad, and Al's dad was one of the deacons, and he talked to me about. So I've been coming up for probably 15, 16 years, preaching occasionally, and then I went on as a sort of a temporary pastor until they got a real one. And so they kept Mr. Barnett and Ross Blocker and B.J. Wood kept wanting me to. They felt like that the Lord was calling me to be there, and I said, I'm not even a real preacher. I said, I can bury you, but I can't marry anybody, legally. So they got me ordained, and October of this past year was 10 years. I've been there 10 years.
Wow.
All right, and tell the people your slogan at church.
It's a good slogan. For anything to be successful, you need a good slogan like put a tiger in your tank, just do it. Ours is in by 11, out by 12, or your money back.
Now, speaking of Ross Blocker, Jeff played many a round of golf with Ross, and Jeff probably saw. He saw Ross and knew him for years. You know what a good man Ross was.
I loved Ross Blocker. Every time I went out, he paid for everything. He wouldn't let me pay for anything. Not that I ever offered. But
Great guy.
it was strange because after he passed, I'd go eat somewhere by myself, and I kept waiting for him to come by and pick up the bill. And then I'd realize he's not with us anymore. I think about Ross a lot. He's a great guy.
And tell us, and this is not the important thing about church, but how many kids we have come to the church and our normal
We
attendance?
probably have 30 to 35 kids, 6th, 7th grade and below.
Okay, which is wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it's
Considering
great.
10 years ago we had one person in the church under 50.
Okay.
One.
That is awesome. Well, now you met Jeff when the three of us went to an Auburn game.
Yes, I love Jeff.
And look, pick up. You need to do your imitation of Jeff's slow talk. We want to hear this. Go ahead.
Well, I talked to Jeff last week, and he said we had some good recruiting. We got a couple of 5 stars, got a couple of them there 4 stars, a couple of 3 stars. I think we're gonna hit the transfer portal pretty good. I think Auburn will be mine. I think we got a good chance. Gonna have a good team. What do you think?
Now, me and Otter
Very
were
good.
talking last night. Never, and by the way, our viewers, we're all Auburn fans.
Yes.
And Jeff only sees the complete positive. He sees the football team going 12-0 every year. He sees the basketball team, the Final Four. He sees baseball and
Until
softball.
I get knocked back to reality.
Now, and I know you have said to me when Auburn had 3 losses before, what scenario has got to happen where we get Auburn in the playoffs? You used to do that.
Yeah. Is there any scenario? Yeah, that would have to be a lot of postseason bans for some people, But if you'll remember, in 2017, with 2 losses, we were the number 2 ranked team,
Right.
only behind was it Clemson,
Yeah.
and then had to.
We were in control around.
Oh, when we ran into that terrible luck where we had to play Georgia again, got
Carry on
running back
got hurt.
hurt. Yeah, but let me make it clear that our church is wide open to Alabama fans, North Alabama, South Alabama, Troy, Jacksonville State. We have a lot of Alabama fans, and I even said to them 2 Sundays ago before Alabama played Michigan, I said, I'm going to say this to you guys because I love you. Roll Tide. I said it. I actually said it.
And me and Otter almost took our money out of the offering plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, what would we have done without that 20?
Now, Jeff is our resident weatherman,
Absolutely.
and you have the booking for the Talladega County basketball tournament.
And for 17 other schools,
Right.
and this week's going to be, if it's bad weather, so I'd like to hear.
Jeff, will they play the county tournament tomorrow night in Chillsburg, Alabama?
Tomorrow night, yes. Tomorrow night, yes. They will.
What about Tuesday night?
Tuesday night and Wednesday. You know, I predicted this for a week.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah,
the
what was
weather
that thing
ended.
called?
He talks about the
Arctic
global.
blast, yeah.
Well, he talks about the global ensemble.
There's a word y'all use, though, that's out in the Pacific. You called it a...
El Nino.
Yeah,
El Nino.
El Nino.
Yeah.
I thought that was Daniel Boone's
Yeah.
Indian friend. On Daniel Boone, wasn't that his name?
But I will say that this thing is doing what we talked about the other day. We talked about this because the weathermen just look at the computer and they don't like trust their gut sometimes. But it keeps pushing further southward, and now they've got us in the ice and stuff for Monday night. We're like right on the line, and I'm predicting it's going to push a little bit further southward. So I'm saying about 8 or 9 o'clock Monday night through Tuesday morning is when the
We need to qualify what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're in central Alabama, and we've got potential for snow and
And
ice.
Billy Paul is a longtime referee, and he books the referees for the basketball.
Good point.
So
on this.
that's what we're talking about.
Right.
He's having to book referees for basketball games that may not happen.
Yeah,
and
and
then
it-
they'll make them up, and then he's got a problem.
Yeah, if we have Tuesday and everything gets pushed back to Wednesday, and then they could end up, you know, what you could do, there's 2 games scheduled Thursday, the little school championships, boys and girls, and there's 2 games Friday, big school championships. You could conceivably play both of those you could play 4 games Friday, the little school and the big
Yeah.
school championships, and then still be back on schedule if we only lose 1 day.
right.
Now, all right, this leads me into something else real quick. You've had a long officiating career, and officials are getting much older. You know, we do have surprisingly some younger viewers. All right, talk about what a great job officiating would be for college kids. They can block the nights. They can make a whole lot more money than working at McDonald's. Talk about how a young person could get into officiating.
We've got some that do that. We've got a kid named Austin Phillips that goes to Auburn. He's like 19 or 20 years old, and he even referees varsity games. Most of the time when they're that young, they'll do JV or middle school. But even doing that, you can go and do 2 middle school games, you know, and you can make around $100 just doing that. And if you are pretty good, you know, you can make on a night, you know, where you have 3 games, you can make over $200.
Wow.
And you can block out certain nights that you don't have to work. It's not like, I'm gonna tell you when you come in. You know, you're gonna come in Saturday on college football and work all day. You know, you can block Saturdays. You can block, you know, and work. It's good. It really is. It's good money.
And what all sports do you officiate?
I do volleyball, basketball, softball, and baseball. Now I do occasionally run the football play clock, but I don't go on the field in football.
Now, if you had to pick your favorite to do, what do you prefer doing?
Favorite money-wise, or favorite just what?
Favorite that you enjoy the most.
Enjoy the most. I'd probably still have to say basketball.
Okay.
It's still, but the single most fun thing is probably doing the baseball playoff series.
Okay. All
For
right.
basketball, you'd have to be in shape.
You have to. It helps us with the 3-man crew. You don't have to do near as much running, but it's still
Gracie.
it can still be tough.
Gracie's going shopping over there.
Yeah.
She
All
wants
right,
those
Yeah.
candles.
we're in the Purcell Farms golf shop, and Billy Paul he said he's not sophisticated enough to be in here, right?
Oh no, this is. I'm uncomfortable because I'm so low down. I'm only above shepherds in the New Testament.
Well, listen to me. All right, you in April are going into the Alabama
March 23rd.
March 23rd. Tell our viewers now. Well, Billy Paul has had a great, long close to 50 years slow pitch softball career, right?
I played my first game in 1972.
1972. So it's over 50 years.
50.
Yeah.
I did not play from 2000 and I believe it was 16 to 2019. I missed that 4-year period because softball was on the decline and there just wasn't anything out there until I discovered this senior softball.
Right, and he's going in the Hall of Fame, and you just got back from where?
Pensacola, we played the Snowball Classic.
And y'all won the tournament, right?
We won it undefeated. We won 18, 17, 15, 14, and 19, 7.
Now say which Hall of Fame? Say the whole Hall of Fame.
The Alabama
ASA Softball Hall of Fame.
Wow,
Alabama
that's a real honor.
Amateur, what does ASA stand for? Gracie, get back over here.
Alabama Softball
Gracie.
Association.
Gracie, come back. Is she bothering y'all? All right, Gracie's just gone. Now, tell our viewers my role in your softball and why you're currently a little upset with me.
Yeah, he is my trainer, okay, and he's also my pitcher, okay, and he gives me advice on the cheapest motels to stay in, but he's a very good pitcher, and he hasn't been able to pitch to me lately, and so I went to Pensacola. I really struggled.
And on the phone call this morning it was my fault. He said, you got to get off your lazy butt and start pitching to me. Now,
I went 6 for 10, and I was so thankful because they were off the end of the bat, off the handle. I hit one ball hard, and it was foul.
Now, we want you to tell this story, true story. You've played at many wonderful complexes, and you've played literally in cow pastures.
Absolutely.
Tell about the tournament in Fayetteville, Alabama, which is, by the way, where my mom's from, and about 30 miles in the middle of nowhere east of here, about the chicken and your teammate. Tell this story real quick.
Yeah, the story goes this way, and it's based on a true story. But like any true story, you take some liberties when you write something, but it's absolutely based on a true story. We were playing a tournament up there, and I was on second base, and Tim Burns, who was a powerful left-handed hitter, used to play with Russell Athletic, great player, and we were playing at Hackneville. It was trade day. They were having to, you could buy a funnel cake or a belt with your initials in it, a leather belt or some kind of craft. You could get your bat helmet sprayed, painted and stuff. Well, Tim just ripped one down the right field line. And here's what had happened. There was a man that lived in that area named Uncle Fred. All I ever knew him was as Uncle Fred. But according to Mike Boyd, the great Mike Boyd, his name was Fred Peters. I'm not sure about that, but that's what he said. And he had a pet rooster, and this pet rooster could do tricks. And he took him around to county fairs. He showed him at every place, and the rooster could do all kinds of tricks. For example, he would say to the rooster, "What's 2 + 2?" And the rooster would go, "Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da, ba-da." And he had a little thing where he would play ping pong with him, and he would knock the ball back. I mean, it was an amazing rooster, and he had won multiple blue ribbons. And so Uncle Fred had been there, sort of a celebrity, and he was leaving, and he was walking down the right field line with the chicken under his rooster under his right arm. And when Tim ripped that ball, they hollered, "Look out, heads up, look out, Uncle Fred." And he turned, and about the time he turned, that softball hit that chicken, that rooster, and feathers just filled the air.
No.
And the rooster just dead on the ground. Just
Graveyard
dead.
dead.
Kind of like
dead.
the Randy Johnson pitch.
Yes, absolutely. And so Uncle Fred picked up the rooster, and it was dead. His old neck was laid back. I can still see it. Uncle Fred had on overalls without a shirt on. He had overalls, no shirt, okay, and had a cap on. And he walks up to the umpire. The umpire, I believe, was Roger Green. He usually called up there, and I think it was him, may have been somebody else, but he just hands the dead chicken to the umpire. And the umpire just holds it out, and so I saw him over there talking, and Tim's just over there leaning on his bat, thinking, well, what are they going to do? What can they say? It was an accident. I didn't say, hey, watch me hit this chicken. And they came out for a couple of minutes and talked, and then they came out, and he stood up and he pointed at Tim, he said, "This man is out of the tournament. He's out of the tournament." They threw him out of the tournament, and the reasoning was he hits the ball too hard, he might kill a child. And they would not let him play, and we made it to the finals later that night, and I tried to talk him into, I said, let him play now, everything's calmed down, you know, and he, oh no, he killed Uncle Fred's prize rooster. We let him back in, this place will riot. And so he didn't get to play the rest of the tournament.
So, was it a cloud of feathers?
Oh, it was like snow. It just, poor old rooster.
That's crazy.
Well, talk about real quick your next big tournament coming up. Where it's at?
In 3 weeks on January, I believe it's the 15th, 22nd, 29th. On January 30th, 31st, and February 1st, we're playing in Tampa, Florida. And I'll referee that night, that Monday night, Lord's willing, and about 9:30 or 10, and then I'll get in my car and drive the 10 hours to Tampa, get there around 7, 8 o'clock, and we'll play it probably at 9. And then I'll sleep later that day.
You drive.
Is Al gonna work with you some before that?
I hope so.
Yeah, I am gonna pitch to him.
If he doesn't, I'll struggle like I did yesterday, and this will probably be my last trip. That's it, we'll move on.
And Jeff, would you like to know how many times I've asked the Otter to come over to the Fayetteville field and shag flies?
They want me to shag. They want me to run
so he can get the balls back in quicker, so he can get more
And
reps.
he said no.
Oh, you know, Otter is not afraid of work, right? Really?
Right, he can lay beside it for hours.
Yeah, he can lay beside it for hours.
Yeah.
Well, we're out here at Purcell Farms, guys. We got to mention our sponsors. And it's been so great to have Billy Paul.
Yes,
and when
it has.
Jeff saw that Auburn shirt,
Loved it.
okay, just loved it. Oh, and you know, Billy Paul loves a compliment. When me and Jeff went to pick him up at his house to go to that Auburn game, and Billy Paul starts walking to the car, Jeff said, "That son of a gun right there is an athlete." You said that, didn't you?
I can tell by the way he walks.
Oh,
Yeah. And
that's so nice.
And even at his advanced age, he noticed he was an athlete. But we've been wanting to interview the Beepster.
Right.
Everybody calls him BP, and I give nicknames. And so BP just evolved to Beepster. I call you Beepster. Otter calls you Beepster.
I wonder, just one more question. I wonder what your career batting average is in softball. What do you think it's close to?
If you combined everything, senior, back to the day, I say we conservatively probably somewhere between 600 and 650.
And
That's strong.
and he loves to go opposite field and hit that chalk on the right field line.
Well, I may add that the reason it's up that high is because in this senior softball, the infielders are like those green trash cans you take down to the side of the road. If you don't hit the trash can, you get on because they can't move. So, you know, my average has really gone up because of that. And may I say, I never hit many balls hard. I just was blessed by God be able to place the ball well. I've probably hit less than 30 home runs in 50 years.
All right, now you play for GAS, which is Georgia, Alabama
Seniors.
Now, how bad a shape would the roster have to be in for you to pick up the phone, because he's over 65, Otter is,
All right.
and call him and say, "Hey, we need you, buddy."
There's been times in this last couple of years I played with them where I was close to that. We had 11 players, and you know we play 11 on defense, okay?
Right.
And we were down to 11, and because I remember when we went to Tennessee, remember we were hurting for players, and the coach asked you, "Can you play?" Remember he asked you.
Yeah, and of course I'm only 58.
And you couldn't play, but
So,
you know.
You don't
with
look a
Otter's
day over
blades and
70,
speed,
Yeah. You know they said about him in '74. He was a speedy
wideout.
at BB Comer. Well, Otter, I'm going to get it right today. Our sponsor, Jennifer Gallup's Front Porch Realty. All right, contact her if you're looking for property, wanting to sell property, land, etc. And our other, go
They
ahead.
have a big demand right now for lake houses. So if you have a lake house that you're thinking about selling, contact Jennifer Gallup's Front Porch Realty. They really have, they got people looking for lake houses, and she can turn your house over quick.
You just could not let me do the sponsorship about
Well, I just wanted to say that.
Otter sounded very professional on that now.
Did I
will
sound
say, you
professional?
sounded good too, but he sounded like he
Yeah.
could do television.
I mean, I just know what she's told me. So.
Okay. All right. And our other sponsor is Hanover Homemade. Cameron Hayes Lackey has her own baking business.
Wow.
And her cakes are unbelievable. She sells stuff we taught her in school.
Oh.
Very pretty, very smart, and a very good cook.
I can imagine anything Cameron has anything to do with. I guarantee you, I'd put my reputation online. It's top notch.
Well, look, we're going to wind it up. But that was a good question about his career batting average.
Yeah.
He's real smart.
All right, but the last thing, what do our subscribers need to do?
Like, click, subscribe.
Like, very close.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications.
That's right.
Hey, and if you don't have a church and you're in Central Alabama, Fayetteville Baptist, and whoa, I got one more thing. If you are visiting Purcell Farms and are here on the weekend and you're not at your home church and you're at the hotel and want to go to church somewhere,
Absolutely.
Right down the road,
it's
yeah.
basically 2 miles to our
Yes.
church.
Love to have you. Love to have you. We love visitors, whether they come once or become permanent members. You know, our doors are wide open to.
And what's that slogan one more time?
In by 11, out by 12, or your money back.
Hey, we've been waiting for this interview for months and it was a great one.
Well, thank
That's-
y'all.
That's a wrap.
Oh yeah.